Hi, welcome to What's Your Stress Personality? I promise this will be a very fun quiz to take, and it will not be stressful, and it's not even that much about stress. It's just a blast. So let's just get started. It is only one question, and that question is pick a way to manage stress, or to de stress, or to relax. Which one of these would you pick? Would you pick exercise, meditate, take a nap, or listen to music? And while you make your choice, I also want you to remember which puzzle piece you are because that is your result. Okay? So here we go. Make your choice, remember your puzzle piece, and that's it. Here's your personality. Type A is in the upper left, type B, upper right, type D, lower left, type C, lower right. And so maybe if you know a little bit about personality typology, you're like, okay, cool. I see I'm a type A personality or type B. But most of us don't know what these mean. And that's cool. We're going to totally unpack that. Just real briefly, type A personalities, I think that that is something people have said for a very long time. And that tends to be like hard charging personality types. But over time, these other types sort of developed as well. And I think it's really interesting and adds sort of a lot of complexity to the type A personality idea because not everyone is type A and not everyone is the opposite of type A. So anyway, type A, type B, type D, type C, or type C, type D, however you want to read it. And then still keep your one puzzle piece, and we're going to go over some of your characteristics. So the first characteristic that we're going to see is for type A people, they're very motivated. That is just, I mean, if you understand what type A means, if you've heard it before, and it's totally okay if you haven't, that's just a person who's super hard charging and they're always going forward with plans, making goals, achieving goals, etc. Type B, that's often kind of thought of as the opposite of type A. And in this quiz, the first characteristic we're going to talk about is that they're relaxed. That doesn't mean that they're losers or that they don't achieve things, but they just have a different pace of how they go about it. Type C is careful. That also could be conscientious. It's just people who take their time, they're very precise, they do things right the first way, however much they can. And type D, we're going to say right here is empathetic. Empath, compassionate, sensitive. You really feel what others are feeling. Okay, so that's the first thing about whatever puzzle piece you got. Let's go to the second thing, which is okay, these are some other things about your personality type. So remember your puzzle piece. If you're type A, you're competitive, which makes a lot of sense. People who are type A really want to achieve and they really want to succeed. And because of that, they're competitive because they want to be at the top. And generally speaking, a very limited number of people can be at the top of whatever you're trying to do, like run a company or win a race. So competitive fits type A. Type B, which is still kind of the opposite of type A, is more flexible, which means maybe you want to achieve a goal, but maybe for you it's more about the road to achieving that goal than the actual goal, or the means and not the ends. And your priorities can change a lot. You are more fluid and you go with what feels right more. Type C, in this case, we're going to say is reserved. So you're keeping to yourself more. You're more introverted. You're more head down. Head down. Yeah, I guess head down. Some people say heads down, but for you, it's just like one head. So you're more head down, like work, a steady pace. You're just doing your thing. You're just really good at like internalizing it and bringing it all inward and just working on your own and getting things done. Type D is resilient. So that just means that whatever life throws at you, you tend to know how to handle it. And it's more outside the realm of being competitive or not being competitive. you can take whatever is given to you and you make the most of every day. Okay, finally, a few more characteristics. Type A, they tend to be perfectionists. That makes sense, right? Because people who are type A are always just trying to achieve more and do the best. So they tend to set very high standards for themselves. Um, Type B is the opposite, easygoing. That doesn't mean that people who are type B live lower quality lives or anything like that. They just have a different way of achieving what they're trying to achieve, and they don't beat themselves up about it. They don't have the same sort of motivation structure. Type C is very detailed. We kind of touched on this before, but I think type C, it can really help you to think of them, or yourself in this case, as more of a planner, and that kind of carves a path sort of between type A and type B, where you're not so hard on yourself and making all these like goals that are hard to reach, but you're not also super easygoing. You're somewhere in the middle. And type D, again, which I think is more of like a social, like cooperative type, is kind. And that I think can go along with like the empathy we were talking about before. And honestly, even the resilience. I think when you're in type D, you're much more likely to be a networker, to be someone who has a lot of acquaintances and friends. And, however that looks like, whether that's in real life or online. And you're just always able to kind of go to your network, go to your people when you need help and support. So, yeah, I feel like that was the whole quiz, and like I said, it wasn't that much about stress. We talked about stress at the very beginning, but it's more about what your strengths are and how that helps you overcome stress. So, I hope you liked this quiz. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear what you got. I would love to know whether you think that's accurate or not. So, yeah, hit me up in the comments, and I hope you have a great day and that it is not too stressful.